edition of Plainfield Community Night. There is a correction in the bulletin. We had these bulletins posted or printed long ago, and unfortunately the superintendent of the schools was unable to make it tonight, but we have Chris Ponsler here from Ivy Tech who graciously was able to fill in, and he's going to tell us about the new Ivy Tech building that just was built and opened up in August, just north of the high school. So, and he is the Assistant Director of Admissions at the Ivy Tech. So I'm going to turn over to Chris, and he'll have a presentation, and afterwards we'll take any questions. Okay? Thanks, Chris.
All right, good evening. Thank you for taking a little bit of time to learn about Ivy Tech, and I appreciate you sharing your interest in it. And hopefully we can share a couple things that you may or may not have known about Ivy Tech and give you some things to take away tonight. So as he mentioned, we did recently just open a new facility in Plainfield. It's just north of Plainfield High School, and it's a partnership that the town of Plainfield did, and they're referring to it as Made at Plainfield. And it's a partnership to provide education and advancement opportunities to the community. So we share the building with Vincennes University, Work One, the fire chief, the state fire chief has offices there as well where they do training for firefighters from all over the state in that building. And Toys for Tots is using that facility as well. So it's become a really cool facility for the town to come together and provide not only educational opportunities for its residents, but also training opportunities. So we don't compete with Vincennes, as you may or may not have known. We are both higher education institutions that may at one time not been as friendly with each other as we should have, but we're great partners there, and we're excited to be working with them. They do a lot of training for industry, so they do a lot of training for Amazon and a lot of the logistics training in the county. So as we all know, that makes up a big part of the county. So, and we do the educational trainings. We're mainly focused on providing the community with degrees and certifications. So, so if you ever need to find us, we are just north of the high school. It's a brand new building. If you ever want to just come over and walk around and look at the facility, it really is a beautiful facility, and you're welcome to come see it anytime. So feel free to stop in and see it. All right, so if you may or may not have known, Indiana is unique. We're the only state in the country that has just one community college system. So myself included, I've not always lived in Indiana. My wife worked for Delco back in, when she was in high school. She started at Delco and transitioned over to being a GM component. And they decided to transfer up to Michigan. So we spent some time up in Detroit for several years as she worked for GM. And we had family here, so we were able to bring ourselves back here with our kids and be closer to family, and really wanted to be in Hendricks County just because we really loved everything about it. We would always come here on weekends and stuff. We grew up in central Indiana in Kokomo. But we always loved coming down to Indianapolis, so we really wanted to find a place here, and we were fortunate to do so. So we've been here for about 10 years and have really enjoyed our time here. But Indiana is unique in the fact that it's just one community college. So what that means for residents is the classes that you take here are the same classes that you take all over the state. And that's a really good opportunity for students, giving them the flexibility that kind of wherever they are in life, they can take those classes virtually anywhere. So it's one unique thing. And this is really what Ivy Tech is built to be for residents. It's either built to be a pathway for a career or a pathway to higher level of education. So the highest degree that we offer is an associate's degree, which if you're unfamiliar with associate's degree, that's going to be the middle of the pathway towards a bachelor's degree. So students typically refer to it as a 2-year degree. It just depends on how many classes you can take at one time each semester. But the highest that we offer is an associate's degree. About 3 years ago now, the state was starting to see some gaps in employment. And the governor's office developed this new initiative that they call Next Level Jobs. And if you're someone that's employed, or you're maybe running your own business and you have employees that work for you, this might be an opportunity that you share with them if they need to upskill or advance in their education. But essentially what the state did was they identified sectors throughout the state that were showing great need for workers. And unfortunately now I think it's grown more than it's gotten better. I don't know how many fast food restaurants I've sat in line waiting for somebody to answer and they've closed. I mean, it's really a unique time right now. So the state identified these 5 key sectors, and what the state is basically saying is if you don't have a degree yet, or you don't have a certificate yet, they're going to invest in you to do training in one of these 5 sectors. And it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your skill set. They're basically saying, we will pay for your tuition at Ivy Tech if you don't have a degree or you don't have any certifications and you're interested in one of these sectors. I can tell you, I've been working in admissions for 15 plus years now at all different institutions. I've never really seen anything like this, where the state has come in and basically said, we're willing to pay for your tuition. There are no strings attached to this. Students aren't required to work in the profession that they're studying in. They're not required to pay back money if they don't go into that field. The state is basically saying, we're going to invest in you so you can give back to the community. So it's a really cool opportunity. And have any of you put children through college yet? Okay, so 3, okay. So you know the FAFSA world probably, you know loans and everything else. The unique thing about this is it doesn't matter what your family's financial situation is. The state is basically saying, it doesn't matter what you make, doesn't matter what the FAFSA says, they're going to invest in your student regardless, as long as they're pursuing one of these fields. And there are lots of different programs behind all of these. I can just give you an example of a few. So like in advanced manufacturing, it would be a CNC machinist, structural welding, machine tool technology, automation and robotics and technology. Under building construction, it's building construction technology, management, HVAC technicians. Under health sciences, EMTs, nurses, practical nursing, medical assisting. Almost everything under the IT world is covered. And then in transportation and logistics, we're looking at CDL truck drivers, supply chain management, auto body, automotive technicians. So it's really kind of an interesting time where the state is saying, we need more people. And I think we can all probably relate to that. I mean, how many places are hiring or working? My wife's an HR manager now, and I think they have about 300 job openings right now. She works for Wabash National in Lafayette, and she manages the job openings, about 300 job openings. So it's just crazy, the need that's out there. So if you yourself are looking for a professional change, or you know others in your family that are looking for professional opportunities, this is a risk-free investment to pursue something new or make a change yourself. In addition to this, Ivy Tech Indianapolis has a pot of money that they can invest in residents as well. So not every Ivy Tech offers this. So don't tell your friend in Sellersburg that they can do this, because Sellersburg may not offer this. But the Indianapolis region has decided to invest in our seniors, and we call it a Senior Scholars. So anyone that is over the age of 60, is retired from profession, and is interested in taking Ivy Tech classes, we offer that as a benefit to you, tuition free, to take classes through Ivy Tech. So you do have to take the class for a grade, And we do that so you stay invested in the class. And the technology fee is asked the student to pay for that, but the tuition is covered by the Indianapolis Ivy Tech. So if any of you have ever thought about taking some classes, maybe something that you've had an interest in, but you didn't really feel like you wanted to make a big investment in a college class again, maybe think about it. And it's as simple as coming over to see us in Plainfield, and we can help you work through the process and help you get started. But you would be eligible to take any of our classes, some of the ones that I've mentioned here, or a variety of others that may interest you. So just something to think about, something unique to the Indianapolis region specifically. So just wanted to share that with you as an opportunity for you. So we offer 3 different levels of degrees at Ivy Tech, and this has kind of become a hot topic with students nowadays. When I went to college, my mom said, you either go get a bachelor's degree or you go find a job to support yourself. No one really talked to me about other opportunities beyond getting a bachelor's degree. And I wish somebody would have, because I wasn't ready to figure out what I wanted to do in college. I went in to study computer science, and man, that was the worst decision I ever made. No one told me that there was a lot of math in computer science, and man, I struggled for 2 years, and I was finally like, okay, I got to make a change, and decided to go into business, and it was a really good fit, and that's something that I've enjoyed ever since. But what certificates and technical certificates do is they allow our students to just focus on a specific area of interest. So a lot of times when I have students coming in that are interested in automotive technician or welding, forcing them to take a psychology class isn't always a good fit. So what those certificates do is it lets them just focus on that specific area of interest. So our automotive technicians, they only take automotive classes. Welding, they only take welding. And I can tell you, every time I hear one of our graduates come back and talk, I think, why didn't I do that? Because we had some logistics students come back and share with our younger students, and they were all making 6 figures, graduating Ivy Tech 2 or 3 years prior. I just think, okay, why am I doing something that I invested 4 years of my bachelor's degree and making a fraction of what they do? But so there are really lots of good opportunities, and getting a bachelor's degree is still needed in a lot of professions, but it's not needed in all professions anymore. And sometimes short amount of training or certifications can get students into a career that can be successful. So we're really trying to share with students that there are many opportunities beyond just getting a bachelor's degree. And if you ever want to go back and get your bachelor's degree, then that will always be there as well. But some students just need a little bit of training, and they're off and running into a good profession. So at Ivy Tech, we have 7 different schools. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each, but I just want to highlight each one real quickly for you. School Logistics, Business and Supply Chain. As we know, in Hendricks County, this is a profession that continues to be in high demand, and we continue to see continued growth in the logistics sector. And they certainly, like everyone else, are showing a great need for workers. Art, Science, and Education. This is going to be more for our students that are going to pursue a bachelor's degree. We're a state institution, just like IU and Purdue. So what a lot of our students like to do is start with us to save some money and then transition on to those 4-year schools to get their bachelor's degree. Public Affairs, Social Service, so we have criminal justice, we have a firefighting program. We do partner with all volunteer firefighting, volunteer firefighter stations to provide scholarships to volunteer firefighters if they want to pursue opportunities through Ivy Tech. Hospitality administration as well. If you're ever downtown near the Children's Museum, we have a wonderful restaurant called Courses that is run by our students. It's on our campus on the 13th floor of our Career Center building. And it's fantastic food. And the best thing is your drink never goes less than about this much empty, because the students are hovering by you all the time trying to make sure that they're doing good for the teachers and everything. But they make outstanding food. So it's something fun that if you're ever downtown, give it a shot. It has some beautiful views of downtown on the 13th floor penthouse. And it used to be they brought in a lot of the architecture from Van Camp's Beans. That's somebody, I don't know if anybody knows, but the Van Camp family was down there, so a lot of the architecture came from their facilities. It's a really beautiful facility if you're ever down there. Information technology, so we were talking a little bit about computers just among ourselves when we got started, but this sector continues to grow exponentially. When I first started, everybody wanted to study business. It was probably the most popular major that I would see come through. It was either business or nursing. Every student, business or nursing. Now I see a lot less business and a ton of IT. So we are continuing to see pretty excessive growth in the IT world, and Ivy Tech can cover about every sector in the IT world, no matter what you're interested in. Health sciences, this is a big program for Ivy Tech. We're well known for our health science programs. Really everything you can think of in the health world we can offer. My initial thought when COVID started that we might see a decrease in students pursuing this profession, it's actually been the opposite. I thought that this pandemic might kind of scare students away, and we've really seen the opposite. Students tend to kind of step up to action in these situations, and we've seen exponential growth in the health fields as well. And nursing is probably still by far our most popular program. Ivy Tech trains about 70% of the nurses currently employed in the state of Indiana, so we are a big provider of nurse training to our hospitals and our doctors' offices. It's an outstanding program. It's a very rigorous program, thankfully. Our nurses are well trained and ready for their career when they leave Ivy Tech. And then finally, advanced manufacturing, engineering, and applied science. So this is going to be all of our automotive techs, welding, machine tool technology, all of our industrial tech students. And then the college has done something pretty cool for students. A lot of times students will say, well, how much can I make in that when I go out into my job? And are you going to guarantee I have a job when you go out and start my career? And the answer is, well, we can show you what the average wage is for the career. On our website, we have this nice little wheel that you can click on it and see, oh, in computer science, I can make about $38, $40 an hour, or industrial tech or automotive, so they can look through that. And then as far as helping them find a job, we have a career office that works with all of our students to give them those soft skills, how to interview, how to do a resume, how to dress for an interview, how to talk when you're at your job. So things like that I think we oftentimes take for granted, but a lot of industry says, sometimes those soft skills are what we really want to see in people. We can train most people, but being able to look someone in the eye when you're talking to them professionally can be critical in being successful. And the state has done a really good job of making all institutions work together. State legislation a few years ago kind of stepped up and said, we don't want students starting at one college and going to another and having to redo classes. So state legislation came and said, we're going to create these partnerships with all state institutions, and when you take a class at Ivy Tech or IU or Purdue, that class is going to be seamless through all institutions. So a lot of people still think of Ivy Tech the old days, 40, 35 years ago, to where you would go to Ivy Tech and then you go to Purdue and, oh, I have to repeat all these classes. Not the case anymore. So the state has done a really good job of asking everybody to work well together, and it's been a really good opportunity for students to make decisions that they feel comfortable with transitioning from one school to the other. And these are some of the partners that most of our students choose in this area. I can tell you most of our students go to IUPUI after Ivy Tech. They have a department solely dedicated to Ivy Tech students to help in that transition. So that's probably the most popular choice for our students. Something really unique that Ivy Tech offers, and Purdue has something similar, but it's an accelerated program. Students can take 11 months and get a full associate's degree in that 11 months. And then they take that and they transition to the four-year institutions and essentially finish with a bachelor's degree in 3 years. Mitch Daniels did something similar with that with Purdue in their liberal arts school. And we had a similar model prior to that. But it allows students who are really motivated to kind of get in and out as quick as possible. We call it the ASAP program, and it's very intense. They go to school every day for 11 months straight, and in that 11 months, they finish with their associate's degree and are off to their four-year institutions. And most of the students that are leaving this program finish with pretty good scholarship opportunities because the four-year institutions see potential in that transition and know that they're going to be successful. We have an honors program as well, so students are pretty motivated to pursue a selective institution. I used to work for the University of Michigan when my wife was with GM. Very selective institution, pretty high standards for admission. So we have an honors program that can help students transition into those more selective programs if they're thinking about moving to that four-year institution where it may be a little bit more challenging for admission. Just this year recently, the college announced this program called Ivy Plus for our tuition, where they basically froze tuition and said if students pursue classes full-time, anything over the 12 credit hours that you're taking is going to be covered by the college. So students taking 15, 18 credit hours, those are going to be no additional cost to our students. And if they do that, then the college offers to pay for their summer classes as well, which would be 2 additional courses. So it's at the regular tuition rate of $4,600 per year, and essentially the summer classes are covered if they pursue those full-time opportunities. IUPUI has been doing it for a long time, and they found pretty good success with that model. It's really to force students to get in and out of college as quickly as possible and stay on track. A lot of times we'll have students that will start out just taking a couple classes each semester, and then that turns into a couple years, and then 4 years, and then 6 years. So the goal is to motivate students to stay on that 4-year graduation path and get them out of college as quickly as possible to be successful. And those of you that have students that have gone through college, you know the world of financial aid, student loans, and scholarships. I can tell you it's interesting. Scholarships have been interesting the past few years. We've had several providers of scholarships come to us and say they've seen a huge decline in applicants. So if you work for an organization that provides scholarships or you work with an organization that provides scholarship, we've heard it's been kind of an interesting world where students have not applied as much for scholarships or taken advantage of those funds. So if you have children or grandchildren that are seeking college, please encourage them to continue looking for those scholarships. There is another cool opportunity that Ivy Tech and IUPUI does as well. They call them micro scholarships. And what it does is it can start in high school, and student gets an A in the class and records that with this organization. They give them $20. And they get on honor roll, they give them $20. And all these little micro scholarships add up, and then by the time they get to Ivy Tech or IUPUI, they can use that money towards their college tuition. So that's something unique that some scholarship providers have started doing to help pay for college. Ivy Tech is also the largest provider of dual credit opportunities. So if you have anyone in high school or children in high school, grandchildren in high school, almost all Indiana high schools offer the opportunity to take college classes while they're still in high school. And it's called dual credit. And this gives them the opportunity to start college early and see if the profession that they want to pursue is truly what they want to pursue. Hopefully they don't make the same mistake as me and pursue computer science with never even touching a computer. There are plenty of opportunities to get their feet wet in a profession that they're thinking about before they even leave high school. And we have some students that will come to us with almost a year's worth of college completed before they even leave high school. If you're familiar with Area 31, it's a partnership career center with Ben Davis High School and actually all Hendricks County schools and some Marion County schools to provide those career pathways for students to explore different opportunities. And most surrounding counties have something similar to that. If you're coming from Putnam County, it's Area 30. Johnson County, it's Central 9. So there are plenty of career opportunities for students to explore that world. And they even provide a lot of opportunities for adults, too, to pursue different professions. So. And then basically, how do our students enroll? We're an open enrollment institution. So being a community college, our charge is to provide education to anyone in the community that's interested. So access to our application is kept free always. There's no expense to applying to Ivy Tech. There's no investment in pursuing the opportunity. And then there are plenty of financial aid opportunities to support our students, whether it be traditionally coming out of high school or further in life pursuing senior scholarship opportunities. There are many different ways to continue your education and continue your learning at Ivy Tech if it's something that you're interested in. And that's it. Does anybody have any questions at all about Ivy Tech? Yeah. Anybody is eligible to take any of our classes, and if support services are needed to support that student in being successful in the class, we have an office that is geared towards providing those opportunities. So most of our classes assume no prior knowledge, so we are not assuming that a student comes in with prior knowledge of a subject to learn anything. So anybody is welcome to take any of our classes. Absolutely. Yeah.
I've seen there's a big need for pharmaceutical techs.
Uh-huh.
Is that something you guys have a program in?
Absolutely. Yep. We have a pharmaceutical tech program. It's located over at our Lawrence campus, which is going to be on the east side of Indianapolis by Fort Benjamin Harrison. And it's a short certificate program. So it's only focusing on the pharmacy tech courses only. And students can do that and get their certification and go into the field pretty quickly. It takes about a year for them to train in that program. Area 31 has a pharmacy tech program as well, where they are working on certifications for high school students. A lot of them will continue at Ivy Tech to finish any remaining classes that they've had, that they have left based on what they've already completed. Absolutely. Yeah. You're welcome. Oh, well, thank you.
Informative, and I was wondering, have you ever had sign language classes?
We don't. No, we don't. One campus in the state was offering some sign language classes. They were doing it virtually, so other people around the state could take it. But unfortunately, the Indianapolis campus does not have sign language. IUPUI has a sign language program. But that is one thing that we don't offer, unfortunately. The unique thing about Ivy Tech is you can take Ivy Tech classes from any location in the state of Indiana. So some campuses are going to offer classes that are specific to the needs of their community. So if you go up to the Elkhart South Bend area, they're going to have RV technician training, which is unique to that area of the state. Here, logistics is a big deal because logistics is a big sector in our county. So it kind of depends on the community. And sign language was being offered by one of our campuses, doing it virtually. So you could do it virtually, but we don't offer it in person in this region. Yeah. And almost every class we offer is available virtually now. That's one thing that COVID did, is it forced us to find other formats to offer our classes. Some of our students love it, some of our students don't. Just depends on your comfort level with being on a computer and logging in and everything. Yeah.
What's the variety of ways that you deliver at this location? You deliver the class.
The class. So we have, let me think, we have three different formats. So we have all online, so students could access a class 24 hours a day virtually. We have virtual, which a student would log on and have a virtual interaction, a live virtual interaction with their professor and their classmates. We have a hybrid, which is part of it is going to be in person, part of it is going to be virtual, and then we have the traditional completely in person. This semester, for the first time, Ivy Tech Plainfield is going to offer everything completely in person. As much as we like the flexibility of virtual, students still want in person with that live interaction. So we decided in Plainfield we're going to offer all in person. And then they offer one more format, it's called Learn Anywhere, where you can use any of the formats. They'll tell you where the class is located if you want to go. They'll tell you when to log on if you want to log on. They'll tell you how to access it online if you want to access it online. So they've really broadened the variety of delivery for the class. Yes?
It's like the next level jobs section program. So is that like age limits for that, or?
No age limits. It's solely based on whether you have a certification or a degree already. So if you are, if you're someone without a certification or a degree, you qualify for that next level jobs regardless of your age. So the only difference is they require younger students who are just coming out of high school to be full-time to receive the benefits of that program, which means they have to take 4 classes every semester. Adult students, so over the age of 24, based on what the FAFSA considers an adult, you can be a part-time student, meaning you just have to take 2 classes each semester. So, and Ivy Tech did some research on semester models, and they've changed it a little bit from what you or your children probably experienced when you were in college. When I went to college, it was a full 16-week semester. Ivy Tech studied some other community college models and determined that taking less classes in a shorter period of time was more successful for our demographic of students. So we actually have 2 8-week sessions every semester. And we encourage our students to take just 1 or 2 classes in that 8-week session. And we have found that they're more successful with less of a load of classes compared to the 5 or 6 classes for the full 16-week semester. So it's a little bit of a different model, tends to work a little bit better for our students. So it's kind of a unique thing for the community college system.
Well, if there's no other questions, let's give Chris a hand. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's my hope that the information he's given us tonight we can pass on to our friends, our neighbors, our relatives, grandkids, whoever. I think it's very valuable. I'm glad they're here in Plainfield, and they can really fill a great need. That we have a lot of positions to be filled and a lot of opportunities for them. So, again,
Absolutely.
thank you, Chris.
Thank you all.
Before we leave, I just want to make a quick announcement of our next 2 events. Coming up in November, we have on Tuesday, November 23rd, we're going to have a couple of groups talk about the unseen needs of Plainfield's most vulnerable. The Family Promise Group will have a representative here. Hendricks County Health Department will have someone, and also the Hendricks County Foundation will be here to discuss some of those, some of the needs here in the community. And then we're all very excited also in December, on Tuesday, December 14th, we will have a musical concert we're going to have the piano and organ duet. Kathy, our pastor, will be playing the piano, and Marilyn Tucker will be playing the organ. We'll be doing some Christmas carols, which should be very, very enjoyable. So thank you all for coming tonight. Chris, thanks again. We appreciate it. And like I said, hopefully we pass this information on to friends and relatives and neighbors. Have a good evening.